Ma'am, good evening. Good evening. We are going to start. Snehal, who is taking care of that?
Sir, I will start.
Okay, proceed. Start.
Hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Mayur, and I am delighted to welcome our principal, sir, Dr. Sridhara Shetty, our vice principal, ma'am, Dr. Liji Santosh, and our vice principal, sir, Professor Sandesha Shetty, our POS professor, Vijay Vishwakarma, sir, and Professor John Menzies, sir, and teacher in charge, Professor Ashish Navik, sir, Professor Swati Shetty, ma'am. Our resource person for today's session, Dr. Pradnya Supya, ma'am. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of the participants who have joined in the large number. Now, I would like to call Kinjal Chetty to give an introduction of our resource person for today's webinar.
Thank you, Mayur. It gives me great privilege to introduce our resource person for the day, Dr. Pradnya Supe ma'am. Dr. Pradnya Supe ma'am has a master's in obstetric and gynecology, fellowship in laparoscopic surgery, and she is also an international board certified lactation consultant. She is an obstetrician and gynecological consultant and a laparoscopic surgeon. She is now an assistant professor in Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology at Lokmanya Tilak Municipal General Hospital and Lokmanya Tilak Municipal Medical College, which is a teaching institute for undergraduate and postgraduate studies in medical science. Dr. Pradnya Supe ma'am is also an assistant secretary of the Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology of India. She is the Youth Council member of Mumbai's Obstetrics and Gynecology Society. We welcome you, Dr. Pradnya Supe ma'am. We are honored to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Kinjal, for that lovely introduction. I would like to begin by saying I'm really thankful to SM Shetty College of Science, Commerce and Management Studies for really inviting me for this webinar. So I'm going to really talk about breast cancer awareness today. So before we begin with the question and answer and I really solve your queries, I would like to show you a very small presentation which highlights the salient points of this topic. So I really want to ask that what language would all of you be really comfortable in, English or would it be interspersed with Hindi? If anybody can just answer this query of mine, I would be more than happy to continue. Okay, so I think in the chat box, I can see a lot of messages saying English. So definitely English it is. So I'm going to be talking about breast cancer awareness. So let us just see what exactly is breast cancer about. So it's like all of you know, I'm sure it's a type of cancer that starts in the breast. And we call cancer when any cells, not just in the breast, but anywhere in the body, the cells begin to grow out of control. Normally, breast cancer cells usually form a tumor. Tumor means any lump or any mass that can often be seen either as an X-ray or can be felt as a woman, a man, or a patient as a lump in his or her breasts. So there are two types of breast cancers that we should know about. Something called as benign breast cancers. Benign breast cancers which never become malignant means that they never invade or spread into your body and cause, stage 3 or stage 4 cancer. They stay the same size throughout. And the other type is called as the malignant or the cancerous tumors or lumps, which actually are really dangerous and if not treated at the right time can metastasize or spread to different parts of your body. So we always hear that breast cancer almost entirely occurs in women, but men can also get breast cancer. Now there are certain conditions where it can happen more, so we'll see that. So these are certain breast cancer facts. So 1 in 8 women are diagnosed with breast cancer. And it is one of the most common cancers for women in USA, not in India. The commonest cancer in India is cervical cancer, but in USA and in UK, the commonest cancer is breast cancer. Just a moment. And how do you reduce the risk? We will see all that, but more or less, do regular exercise, no drinking, no smoking, and do an annual mammogram. Let us see what exactly is this. As far as cancer, breast cancer in men is concerned, at least 1% of breast cancer does occur in men. And what happens is women who have breast cancer live 2 years longer than men who have breast cancer. Especially men who have a very strong family history of breast cancer, means whose mothers, whose sisters, whose aunts have had breast cancer, they have a very high chance of developing breast cancer. Normally, how is it seen? It shows as a lump. What do you mean by lump? Some growth, some swelling that you feel in the breast near your nipple or below your nipple. Non-matching breast. Your one breast is bigger than the other, or suddenly your breast, your chest, which has been extremely flat, has suddenly started growing in size. So these are certain things you see when there is breast cancer in men. As we see, less than 5% of cases of breast cancers happens in women who are under 40 years of age. So it is more common in women who are above, just a minute, who are above 40 years of age. It is very common to have breast cancer, especially in women during pregnancy or after pregnancy. Immediately, it is very common to have breast cancer in women who have just delivered. There are many new cases and deaths which occur both in women and men. So, what are the factors or what are the things that can cause breast cancer? If there is a very strong personal history or family history, see, by family history, like I said, if your mother has had breast cancer, if your sister has had breast cancer, your aunt has had breast cancer, then yes, you are at a larger risk of developing breast cancer. Women who do not have children throughout their lives are at a higher risk of developing breast cancer. If the first child is after 30 years of age or after 35 years of age, even then you are at a risk of having breast cancer. Also, if you have received radiation therapy, now by radiation therapy, say somebody who has had cancer of the jaw or the mouth, and for that purpose, if radiation has been given to cure that cancer, yes, you are at a higher risk of developing breast cancer. If somebody is overweight or obese, by obese I don't mean just fat, but when very, very obese, that person is also at an increased chance of having breast cancer. Age, like I said, women who are above 40 years of age are more at risk. Late menopause. Menopause means stopping of your periods. So if your periods stop at a very late age, normal age where the periods stop, especially in women, is somewhere between 45 to 50 years of age. If your periods have stopped even after that, then those women, especially older women, have a risk of developing breast cancer. If you have a diet which is high in saturated fat, what do you mean by saturated fat? Chips, fried food, food which contains refined sugars, processed food, all these are extremely high in saturated fat. So if you are prolonged life, if you're having that sort of diet, yes, your risk definitely increases. Sex, like I said, women definitely have a higher chance of developing breast cancer than men. And ERT. What do you mean by ERT? Basically, in a lot of women, after their period stop, they face a lot of issues, like their bones become very soft. They have other symptoms. So they are sometimes given hormonal therapy. In women in whom this hormonal therapy is given, they also have a risk of developing breast cancer. So I am talking about breast cancer. What happens by breast cancer? So as you can see, if there is dense breast tissue means you feel your breast has become hard. There is redness and swelling. If there is any discharge which is coming from the nipple, either it is white in color or red in color or black in color. If you have got your periods also very early and they have stopped very late, then you have increased chance. Like I said, familial, if you have a strong family history, you have an increased risk of developing breast cancer. Certain carcinogens, people who have been working in factories, and there are certain products, which are carcinogenous, in them there can be. Use of oral contraceptives. I hope you are all aware what are oral contraceptives. If not, after my presentation, I'll be happy to talk about it. But women who have been taking hormonal pills, or let me use a better word, birth control pills for a very long time, they are at more risk of developing breast cancer. Any new lump or mass in the breast which was not there previously can be indication of breast cancer. Drinking excessive alcohol, smoking, also like I said, saturated fat are also risk factors for developing breast cancer. So what do you see? Early breast cancer has little or no symptoms. It is not painful. What do you look for? So breast discharge, especially if only from one breast. Now this breast discharge, like I said, could be white, could be red, could be black, could be brown, whatever. If it's a discharge, it has to be looked at. Sunken nipple. Sunken nipple means if the nipple gets pulled in, it's normal and suddenly you see it is sunken in. If there is any redness, changes in texture, any puckering. Puckering means if you see that your skin has suddenly become like the skin of an orange. Okay, how an orange peel looks like, then it can be associated with breast cancer. Any lump or any swelling in your breast, most of them are not really cancerous. But if you have suddenly, if suddenly you feel that there is a new lump in your breast which was not previously there, it has to be looked at. So breast cancer has 4 stages. Stage 0 means it is in place and most favorable stage. Stage 1, when it is less than 3/4 of an inch, means which is less than 2 centimeters and is only in the breast. Stage 2, when it has spread to lymph nodes. Lymph nodes are present here in the armpit. So when it spreads here, but not over your entire body, that is called as stage 2. Stage 3, when it is of a bigger size and spread to other parts besides the breast and the body. And stage 4 is the last stage, as we say, or metastatic breast cancer, where it has gone to all the other body parts like bones, lungs, liver, brain. And this is the least favorable stage to find breast cancer. So like I said, these are the 4 stages. As you can see, 0 is stage 1, where it is only in the breast. 0 and 1 when it is only in the breast. Stage 2 where it has gone to the lymph nodes. Stage 3 when it is gone beyond the increase in size and beyond those lymph nodes. And stage 4 where it is all over the body. And as you can see on the lower line, the survival rate decreases depending on what stage the breast cancer has been detected. So how do we deal with this? And what is the treatment for breast cancer? There is a lot of treatment available, surgery being the one of the most important, radiation, chemotherapy, vaccines. I would not like to really talk. There's no vaccine which will prevent you from getting breast cancer, but there are certain which are under investigation. Hormonal therapy, yes, if depending on the type of breast cancer, hormonal therapy is also there. So now these are certain myths. Healthy diet and exercise can reduce risk. Drinking alcohol, using birth control pills, being overweight. Yes, and large breasts do not increase risk. Just because somebody has very large size breast does not mean that she is at a high risk for developing breast cancer. I will answer all the questions after this. I'll be done in a minute or so. So now that we've heard so much about breast cancer, how do we really know whether a person has breast cancer or not? So there are certain tests and early screening. So there is something called as mammography. Mammography is nothing but doing an X-ray of the breast tissue. There is something called as sonomammography, which involves both X-ray as well as sonography. Should be done every year beginning at the age of 40. Clinical breast exam and breast self-exam. Breast self-exam should be done as early as at 20 years of age, and clinical breast exam can be done by a surgeon or a gynecologist at least once a year every after 40 years. So what is a breast self-examination? You check for changes when lying down. You can see yourself in the mirror and shower. And what is most important, I will talk when maybe I'm answering questions. So touch both your breasts, look in the mirror and check with your doctor if you've really had any breast changes. So I would like to go back to this slide later. So breast self-examination is extremely important, and I'll come back to this when I'm answering questions. And these are the surgeries that I again talked about. So now let's go to the questions. I'll stop sharing my screen. So I think somebody had raised a hand. I think somebody had raised a hand. Anybody anybody who wants to ask questions, please feel free to. There is nothing about hesitant. This is a very important topic. All of you as students should definitely be aware of this. So how do we check ourselves? So let me go back to my slide here. So as you can see this slide, you look in the mirror and check do a visual inspection of your breasts in different positions. As you can see in this slide, the first is with lifting her arms. Second is by keeping her arms right next to the side. One is when you keep your arms on your waist and check, and the other is in different positions. Now, below the first picture that you see is very important. Imagine this is the breast. You do not poke it. If you poke, if you feel with the fingertips, the tips of your fingers, you will always feel there is something hard in your breast. So that is not the way. The way is you feel with the pads, this part. If everybody can see what I'm showing, this is the part with which you really examine your breast. You do not poke. You gently just feel, like shown in the second picture over here, with a wedge pattern all around. You go in all four directions and gently feel if you feel a lump or not. Either you can go vertically or in the clock pattern or the wedge pattern. But what is most important to remember that you do not poke. You feel with the pads of your fingers. And this is important not just for you, but for all family members, all the female, importantly, family members in your house, if they're above 40 years of age. So this should be done. In fact, any lump, if anybody has noticed a lump, should immediately be brought to a doctor's attention, because you cannot assume that it is just a swelling which will go away with time. Any lump, unless proved otherwise in the breast, is cancer. Please remember that. Okay, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. So another question is it okay if the breast size are different? Yes, it is absolutely okay. Having both breasts being of different size does not mean there is something abnormal. The only thing is it has happened suddenly, not over a period of time. Then yes, it is something to worry about. But if it has been there since the beginning, there is no recent change, you don't need to be worried. Is cancer contagious? No. No cancer is contagious. Cancer is not something like if you have a cough or like COVID, like we are talking about. So if you cough on somebody or something, it is contagious. No, cancer is not like that. Cancer is something which, if it has to happen to you, it will happen any which ways. So it is not contagious. How do we know that we have breast cancer? Now see, how do you know you have breast cancer? Look, see, breast cancer cannot be something that you can say definitely that you have breast cancer. No doctor can even take one look at you and tell you that, you have breast cancer. But say, let me give you an example. There is a 40-year-old woman who has 2 children. Suddenly one day she finds that there is a swelling in her left breast. And she feels, oh, it was not there. I have never realized it has been there previously. So what should I do? So she goes to her doctor. Her doctor examines her, tells her, see, you have a lump. Now we need to really check it. So there are various tests which are done. There is something called as a FNAC, something called as a biopsy. By biopsy, it means that you take part of a small lump, part of the tissue of the lump and send it for testing. In that, it is very confirmatory whether it is a cancerous lump or it is a plain simple lump which really needs some minor treatment. So by looking, you cannot find out whether you have cancer or not. You do need to visit your doctor. You do need to do these tests. But you need to be aware that if you find a lump, it definitely needs to be looked at. So I mentioned that breast cancer is common in USA. I heard it is the second most common cancer here. Now see, why is it the most? It is not the most common type of skin cancer. Okay, skin cancer is something different. Breast cancer is something different. But yes, why do you think breast cancer is more common in USA and not in India? breast cancer is very common in India. It's not as if it is not. But see, certain factors which are known to cause breast cancer, our lifestyle, the lifestyle of Indian people as compared to lifestyle of people who live in USA is very different. Our food, our diet, the way we live, the way we function is much different. So a lot of these factors do play an important role about how cancer comes into action. So that is one of the reasons. Just a minute, let me go up.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, I will. Can I read the questions for you?
Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah.
But I can read if it's not a problem. What are the stages of cancer? So like I said, see, cancer, any cancer, breast cancer ho, आपके nose cancer ho, eye cancer ho, whatever cancer we are talking about, all of them go through some stages. So stage 1 means where it is just a lump and it is not causing any harm to your body. Then if you do not do anything at that stage, it starts progressing. Then it becomes stage 2. So what happens in our body, there is a lot of waste which is generated and it goes to different parts of our body to go out through the lymph nodes. So there are lymph nodes in every organ, whether it is breast, it is our hands, it is our legs or stomach or liver, and everything has its waste which is drained through the lymph nodes. So whenever a cancer goes to lymph node, its spread starts increasing. So stage 4 is when the cancer is not just in a particular organ, like not just in the breast or but it has gone all over your body. Whenever a cancer reaches your bones or your brain or your lungs, which is like the last stage, it means that no matter what treatment you do, it is not going to get cured. Whereas stage 1, stage 2 cancer definitely have a very good chance of getting cured, and the patient can live even after treatment for 30-35 years. That is why breast cancer, the earlier you find out, you have a larger chance of really having a good, healthy life even after the treatment. Can a PCOD or a PCOS patient get breast cancer? Not per se. Means PCOD per se does not directly cause breast cancer. But if you have been taking if somebody has been taking birth control pills for a very long time, then yes, there is a slightly higher risk of developing breast cancer. Does not mean that 100% that person will get breast cancer. So does wearing dark colored undergarments cause breast cancer? No. Dark colored undergarments and breast cancer have nothing to do with each other. It will not increase any chances of developing breast cancer. Now, which treatment is used for breast cancer? Like I said, there are a lot of treatments which are available, like surgery, chemotherapy, radiotherapy. Now, depending on what type of cancer it is, cancer is also of different types. Now, there are a lot of medical terms. So, depending on what type is your cancer, what stage is your cancer, the choice of treatment differs. So, let me put it this way. If it's a very stage 0 or stage 1, surgery will be very useful, followed by chemotherapy or radiotherapy, depending on the type of your cancer. But for example, if it has been diagnosed at stage 3, stage 4, surgery will really not play any role, and the first choice of treatment will be chemotherapy or radiotherapy. What kind of food causes breast cancer? I have already mentioned high saturated diet, lot of alcohol, lot of smoking. Definitely it does not cause breast cancer, but if your lifestyle includes all that to a great extent, you have a higher chance of getting breast cancer than somebody else who is not eating all those stuff or who has a healthier lifestyle as compared to you. Red rashes in the breast just below the nipple is fine or should be checked. See, any rash anywhere in your body, and you should not self-treat. It has to be checked. Mostly what happens is red rashes on the breast just below the nipple are a lot of times because of the bra is very tight, and because obviously all of these women sweat a lot and it is the under surface, a dependent area. So because of the sweat there can be rashes. If it doesn't, so what the first thing you can do is you can change whatever bra you are using. Keep that area dry, don't keep it moist. Maybe use a talcum powder. If it it is still not going, definitely you need to get it checked. You cannot sit on it for a very long time also. It could even be a fungal infection. A fungal infection is very common, especially in that part of the breast, the lower part just below the nipple. So it might be a fungal infection which may not go on its own. So you do need to visit a gynecologist or a dermatologist, means a skin specialist for that. The main risk factors for breast cancer, the most important one, just a moment. So the most important risk factors for breast cancer are mainly family history. Please, that is very, very important. If your mother, your sister, your aunt, like I've already mentioned, if any of them have breast cancer, definitely even if you do not have it, your chances of getting it will be more. But what you need to do is you need to get yourself checked very vigorously. Get a sonography or a sonomamography done. Do your self breast examination very vigorously. Also, women who have periods, who get their periods very early, whose periods stop very late, they also have an increased chance of developing breast cancer. Women who have not had children have an increased chance of developing breast cancer. This question I have not understood. Means swallowing. Can somebody please pose this question again? Is fibroadenoma harmful? So fibroadenoma is not breast cancer per se. Fibroadenoma is a very common benign tumor. It is not harmful, but if it is suddenly growing in size and if you are not comfortable or whoever has it is not comfortable with it, yes, you should get it removed by surgery and make sure that it is just a fibroadenoma and nothing else. Because like I said, just by seeing, you can say it could be a fibroadenoma, but it will be confirmed only when that tissue, means that part which is there, goes for testing and you confirm. How to identify cancer? I think I've already spoken about how to identify cancer. If can eating too much sugar cause breast cancer? See, eating too much sugar will not cause breast cancer, definitely. But yes, eating too much sugar, definitely. Eating a lot of refined sugar is definitely not good for your health in any which ways. Even if it doesn't cause breast cancer, it will definitely cause other problems like obesity, hypertension, diabetes, hypothyroidism, which are again risk factors which do cause breast cancer. So ultimately, yes, it is the road to developing diseases in the future. So sugar should definitely be limited in your diet. Can breast cancer be painful? Breast cancer initially is extremely painless. Stage 1, stage 2, you do not realize that you have a lump itself and it is completely painless. It's only when it is stage 3 or stage 4 stage 4 breast cancer, when the breast cancer spreads to painful areas like your bone. See, bone pain is extremely bad. That is when the pain in breast cancer really starts. So in stage 1 and 2, breast cancer is never painful. That is why people do not discover it very early. And that is the importance of self-breast examination, that you discover it at an early stage. So it gets treated early and then your chances of having a cancer-free life increase further. See, wrong size wearing bra or not wearing bra cannot lead to breast cancer. It has nothing to do with that. But wearing a wrong sized bra can definitely cause other problems. If you are not wearing the right size bra, it can cause sagging of breasts also, which may be cosmetically damaging to you. So please make sure you use a proper size bra, but otherwise it will definitely not cause breast cancer. If your breast pain while checking or when touched, no, it is not breast cancer. It can be a sign of a lot of other things, like especially before you get your periods, means before a female gets her periods, the breasts are more tender. Even the slightest of touch or shake will cause pain. There will be increased sensitivity. The second reason why there can be tenderness on touching or checking breast is if it's early pregnancy. If somebody is pregnant, that time also the breasts feel extremely heavy and there is a lot of tenderness. So sometimes these things can happen even during your periods, just before you get your periods. Breast can be very tender, but it does not mean that you have breast cancer. Can breast cancer pass through other generation? It cannot pass through other generation, but like I have mentioned before, if your first relative had breast cancer, yes, it does increase the chance of you getting breast cancer. So there are something called as two genes, that is BRCA1 and BRCA2. So the testing of these genes is very expensive, but if you have that gene, the risk is up from 20 to 40% risk you have of getting breast cancer if you have that gene. And it is familiar, means families can have that gene. So if your family member has, yes, you have to be more alert about the entire aspect, but it does not pass. Means if your mother had or your sister had, it does not 100% mean that you will also have. But yes, as compared to the somebody else whose mother and sister do not have it, you are at an increased risk of having it. Having stretch marks on the breast is absolutely normal. Reducing size of the breast, see, it is like genetic. Some people have small size breasts, some people have large size breasts. Okay, it's like having the color of the eyes. Some people have black eyes, some people have brown eyes. Size of the breast is also like that. If somebody who is very fat, if you lose weight, your breast size will also directly decrease. But somebody who is on a thinner side and has large breasts, see, you have to understand your body is made like that. Increasing or decreasing breast size by doing some intervention is not really the right way to go. Means it's like your body is made like that. So there is nothing wrong in really having big size breast or small size breast. It's just the way you are made, and it has nothing to do with any other problems or breast cancer. What can we do to avoid breast cancer at early age? The only thing that you can do is have a healthy lifestyle. Really, have a healthy diet. Include a little bit of exercise in your diet, and definitely make sure that you are aware of the fact that you can examine yourself and be aware that if there is any swelling or any lump, you immediately go to a doctor, get it tested. It comes to your notice. Females at an early age like us, 18 to 25, diagnosed breast cancer. You mean in yourself or in somebody else? Means what are you trying to ask? In yourself by self breast examination, yes, you can do it. In your relatives, if you do it and you find a lump, at least you can guide them that please go show your doctor. So definitely, you can move ahead. Whether you can get it or not, the chances in an age group like you, it is very low, not very common. Breast cancer is more common above 40 years of age. So in your age group, getting breast cancer is very less common. This is a complete myth. Wearing dark clothes will not lead to breast cancer. It is a myth. Please get it out of your head that wearing dark clothes causes breast cancer. There is nothing like that. Can it lead to a painful death too if it is a stage 4 breast cancer? In fact, let me put it this way. Any cancer, if it is in stage 4, is definitely painful because, like I said, it spreads to your bones, and any pain in the bone is extremely painful. So, yes, if it is stage 4, it has not been diagnosed early, it has not been treated because stage 4 cancer is very difficult to treat. You cannot cure that cancer. And this is not just about the breast, it is about any other form of cancer. So, yes, means if it has reached that stage, yes, it is really, it is painful. It is not genetical, let me make it clear, but even if you're in your family nobody has it, you do have a chance of getting it. What I'm trying to say, if in your family somebody has it, you have a higher chance of getting it than maybe somebody else in whose family it is not there. No, it is not a death sentence. Breast cancer is not a death sentence. You will find many people who have breast cancer but who have gone to the doctors at the right time, got themselves treated, taken treatment, and then lived for 30 and 40 years of age even after that. Let me give you, for example, if a woman suddenly, finds out that she has a lump, 50-year-old woman, so she finds out, she goes to a doctor, he gets her tested, it is stage 1 breast cancer. She undergoes surgery for it, she takes chemotherapy. She can easily live for 30 to 40 years after that. And how old do you think people live for? 80 years, 90 years? So if at 50 years of age, if she's getting treated at the right time and she can happily live for 30, 35 years after that, I think it is serving the purpose, right? Why is breast cancer pink? Breast cancer is not pink. The World Health Organization and the Breast Cancer Awareness have given breast cancer a pink ribbon because they really want people to be aware of it and not have people who really get diagnosed in stage 4. So it is just something that the entire World Health Organization and Breast Cancer Awareness Organization, they've come together and given that. How can I lower my chances of getting breast cancer? Like I said, your overall lifestyle has to be healthy. You need to inculcate exercise. So there is nothing that you can personally do to prevent it, but you can just be aware of it. I think I already answered. Can people suffer at an early age, such as 18 to 25? It is extremely rare. It can happen. The major symptom one should not ignore is if you feel there is a swelling in your breast, if there is any discharge coming from your nipple, whatever color it is white colored, it is red colored, it is black color. If you suddenly feel your nipple has gone in, if you feel suddenly, not from the beginning, that your two breasts are different in size, that your one breast is suddenly appearing bigger than the other, it doesn't really hurt to go show a doctor. If there is nothing, you will come back feeling relaxed, that there is nothing. While jumping, there is breast pain. So do I need to visit a doctor? Not really. What you really need to do is wear a bra with a good support, because ultimately if you're jumping, you're exercising, you're skipping, you are doing high intensity workouts, yes, definitely, if they are unsupported, there will be slight heavy. Yes. And pain. So what you can really do is use a better support, maybe something like a sports bra or something, so that you do not get that pain. Yes, is breast cancer rare in men? Yes, it is pretty rare in men as compared to women, but not that it cannot happen. Means it is not very common, but if the same symptoms that I mentioned right now are seen in men, they definitely need to go and visit their doctor. If anyone is suffering from breast cancer, then should they go for chemotherapy or hormone therapy? Like I said, it depends on the stage and type of your breast cancer. What stage is the breast cancer at? If it is stage 1 or stage 2, where it is just spread to local lymph nodes or not spread, yes, surgery can only cure your disease. Sometimes when it is stage 3 or stage 4, you have no option than chemotherapy. Hormonal therapy can be given for some types of breast cancer, and they are different, and it is only after testing you will know whether hormone therapy will benefit a particular patient of breast cancer. How can men get breast cancer? See, breast, ultimately the tissue is the same in women as well as in men. In a woman's body, there are two hormones. These are called as estrogen and progesterone, and they are not present in men. So it is because of those hormones that a woman's breast size is slightly more than the men's breast. But ultimately, the breast tissue is the same. So cancer means when a normal cell undergoes some changes and starts growing. So that normal cell can undergo changes in a man's body too. So definitely men can get breast cancer. Like I said, breast cancer has nothing to do with the size of the breast. Name of channel. What channel can please you specify? So like I said, breast cancer in men, although it is very rare, it can happen. So you should be aware. If, like I said, there are any symptoms like discharge, misshapen breast, if the nipple suddenly becomes flat or goes inside, or if there is a different size of breast, you should definitely go for checkup to your doctor. Cancer, then they should go for chemo. That's what I think I've already explained. Because it totally depends on your stage and type of cancer, what type of therapy you will require. The skin around the nipple becomes itchy and swollen. Can we say it's breast cancer? See, skin becoming itchy and swollen can have a lot of reasons. Okay, just being itchy and swollen could also be again because of the sweat collection or something like that. It could even be a fungal infection. So, not necessarily, but definitely if it doesn't disappear, you need to definitely show it. Anyone is suffering for breast cancer, they are in stage 2 or 3, can be cured by changing? No. If breast cancer has already happened, then lifestyle change will not cure the disease. Okay, no cancer, once it has happened, can be cured by lifestyle change, then you really have to remove the cancer or either treat it. What do you think chemotherapy and radiotherapy does? It destroys these cells which are growing out of proportion. Both chemotherapy, surgery means you are removing them. Radiotherapy means what? There are certain radiations which destroy these cells, kills these cells. Let me put it that way. Chemotherapy also does that. So just changing lifestyle at that stage will definitely not make a difference. So what I mean by changing of lifestyle is before, right now, at your age. You are at the right age to really adapt a healthy lifestyle. So not after you have got breast cancer, you have to go for treatment. That time changing your lifestyle will not make a difference. Chemotherapy, I will not say chemotherapy is painful, but chemotherapy has a lot of bad side effects, which there is a lot of vomiting that is involved, there is a lot of diarrhea which is involved, there is hair fall that is involved, and overall it is extremely stressful for the person who is taking chemotherapy. So although it might not be directly painful, but yes, it is very physically and mentally damaging to the person who is undergoing it. Effects of doing surgery at stage 3 and 4. This is an extremely medical question, but I'll still try to answer it. Some cancers at stage 3 and 4, if the patient chooses to undergo surgery, followed. So what they do a lot of times, if it's at stage 3 or 4, they give chemotherapy and radiotherapy, try to reduce the size of the cancer as much as possible and then remove it. But still the chances of that person having a good life after that are still very less if it is stage 3 or stage 4. So what you really need to remember is that earlier the cancer gets detected, better are the chances of any woman or patient having a good life after that. Gyno and breast cancer, what is the difference? Gyno means, can this question be repeated again? Having hair on breast is absolutely normal. It happens because of the hormones which are there in our body. So it is absolutely normal, nothing abnormal about that. Can breast cancer spread quickly without intervention? Am I not audible? Can somebody
You are audible.
I'm audible, right? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, no, somebody's put a message. So, yes, breast cancer without intervention, it depends upon the type of cancer. So, certain breast cancers can stay the way they are for a long time, but certain breast cancers can spread very quickly. Means you will not even know when it has become from stage 1 to stage 4. So, it depends on the type of breast cancer or any type of any cancer you have, at what rate it really grows. Can this question be repeated again? Gyno and breast cancer, what is the difference? So breast cancer is cancer of the breast. What I'm trying to understand is he's asking what is gynecological cancer. So let me just show you something. I hope this is visible to all. Is it? Can somebody just show me a thumbs up? Yeah. So this you can see here is the uterus. Okay. This is the uterus. This is the ovary. And these here are the fallopian tubes. So cancer which involves the uterus, this is called as the cervix, which is the mouth of the uterus. So any cancer involving the uterus, the cervix, the ovary, the ovary which is here, and the tubes. This is called as a gynecological cancer. So it is a different type of cancer. Gynecomastia. So what is gynecomastia? Gynecomastia is when in men the size of the breasts increases. Now why does this happen? It can happen because of a lot of hormonal imbalances. If people, especially weightlifters, bodybuilders, they have a lot of these hormone supplements, hormone injections to really build abs and build muscles. Those hormones can cause gynecomastia. Sometimes there is a hereditary tendency of having gynecomastia. So gynecomastia is when the breast size grows in males. Okay, but I'll tell you the difference between breast cancer and gynecomastia. Gynecomastia will always occur on both sides. Both the breast will be involved, not just one. Whereas breast cancer, if there is an increase in the size of the breast because of breast cancer, it will happen on only one side. Whereas in gynecomastia, your both breasts will be involved. So that is how you know that it is plain gynecomastia and not breast cancer. But even in gynecomastia, you really need to show a doctor, an endocrinologist, or a surgeon to really assure that it is only gynecomastia and not anything else. Can breast cancer lead to? I hope I have answered. If that is what you meant, I think I hope I have answered that question. Can breast cancer lead to hair fall? Breast cancer primarily cannot lead to hair fall. All the treatments of breast cancer, like chemotherapy, radiotherapy, yes, they can lead to hair fall. Breast cancer directly will not lead to hair fall. Any more questions? This was the last question. Any more questions? Okay, so whoever was increase in estrogen, yes, can cause gynecomastia in males. Increase in any hormones can cause increase in estrogen plus progesterone in males because of whatever reason, yes, can cause gynecomastia in males. Yes, I am a gynecologist. I think she had already introduced me. So I'm a gynecologist. I'm an obstetrician and a gynecologist. I'm also a laparoscopic surgeon and a lactation consultant. It's the therapy that leads to the side effect of hair fall, not the cancer per se. Cancer will not cause hair fall or the other problems. It is the therapy which leads to that. But the therapy is required because it kills the cancer cells as well. So, and the side effects will disappear over a period of time, but the cancer cells will also disappear along with that. So that is why it is important. So I don't see any more questions. See, I think I've already spoken about this. The major symptoms in common people, let me just go through them again. If there is a swelling in your breast, if you suddenly realize that the size of both your breasts is different, one breast appears much larger than the other, if there is any discharge coming from your nipple, white, red, black, brown, whatever color, suddenly find that your nipple has gone inside. All these are signs that it could be a sign of breast cancer. So you need to see yourself in the mirror and see if you, not every day, it's not something you need to do every day, but you need to look at it from time to time just to make sure there's no issue there that you are ignoring. PCOD is another topic altogether. Let me put it in 2 to 3 sentences. PCOD, if nobody knows, PCOD is something where your periods are not irregular. Your ovary has a lot of cysts. Cysts means small swellings. There is some people can have a lot of hair over their face in PCOD, but most common symptom that people have, especially in your age group with PCOD, is that their periods are irregular. Now, there are a lot of treatments that are really available for PCOD to make your periods regular and for everything else that you are going through. But what really is essential, PCOD is a disease of the entire body. A little bit of weight reduction. For example, if you have PCOD, what you need to really go and do is check your BMI. A BMI is for your height, what is your ideal weight, and then see if your BMI is normal or not. So PCOD basically lifestyle modification. What do I mean by lifestyle modification? You should do exercise for at least 25 to 30 minutes a day. Now, exercise can be anything. It could just be plain walking. It could be yoga. It could be aerobics. It could be Zumba. It could be lifting weights. It could be anything of your choice. You need to have a healthy diet. Avoid all refined sugar, all processed foods, all unhealthy food from your diet. Believe in portion control. For example, if somebody says that, I to eat only chapatis and rice for dinner and lunch, I don't eat anything. Then look at how many chapatis and what quantity of rice are you eating. If you still feel that you're eating them in very less quantity, then look at how much movement are you doing during the day. Whether you are eating enough, whether you are eating adequately, whether there is portion control, and are you doing adequate exercise. So PCOD, yes, there are a lot of options that are available. There are a lot of treatments which are available. Okay, so if you have facial hair, weight gain, irregular periods, yes, you can have PCOD, but you need to do certain more investigations to confirm that it is PCOD indeed. So you do need to visit your gynecologist for this and definitely look into it. Can dimpling of skin be a symptom of men's breast cancer? Yes, it can definitely be. So it's definitely good that you go and show a surgeon about that because it definitely needs to be looked at. Would you talk about oral contraception? Contraception is another topic altogether, but oral contraception, there are a lot of forms of contraception. There are oral, there are barrier contraceptives. So oral contraceptives are basically also called as birth control pills. They are easily available over the counter. So one strip has two hormones, that is estrogen and progesterone. There are 21 pills, but I would really recommend that oral contraception should not be taken by yourself, because not that it will cause a lot of problems, but if not taken correctly, it will not work correctly. So if anybody wants to take oral contraceptives, whether it's you or it's your relative or your friend or your anyone, it's better that you consult a gynecologist on what is the right oral. There are a lot of brands which are available in the market. You need to know which is the right form of contraception, right form of pills for you. So you consult a gynecologist. Your gynecologist will explain to you really properly what is the right form of oral contraceptive for you, how to take it, when to take it, and how will it be most effective. So definitely don't buy something over the counter and take it without the advice of an expert. I already mentioned this, how women can diagnose with the similar symptoms. You need to look at what you are seeing. If you are seeing something abnormal, you need to go and get it checked. Only then will you get a confirmatory diagnosis. Cervical cancer. So, what is cervical cancer? Now, cervix is basically uterus. The opening, the mouth of the uterus is called cervix. It's a very small part. Cervical cancer is one of the most commonest cancers in India. So, cancer of the mouth of the uterus is called cervical cancer. How does it present? It's another topic altogether. So, I think you need to request your administration to have another webinar about that because it's a very big topic to talk about again. I think if we have no more questions, can we call an end to this webinar? Think Mayur?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the answer for questions, ma'am. I would like to call the
I think his network is gone.
Yeah, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this webinar, and thank you for answering so many questions. I would like to call Natasha for a formal vote of thanks.
I, Natasha Pujari, NSS volunteer, on behalf of NSS unit of Bansanga Sasan Shetty College of Science, Commerce and Management Studies, extend my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to our resource person of the day, Dr. Pratya Supe ma'am, who spared her time to enlighten this webinar on the occasion of National Cancer Awareness Day. I'm glad that all of us got a chance to be a part of such an informative webinar. I would also like to thank our benevolent management for supporting us. Our principal, Sir Dr. Sridhara Shetty, our Vice Principal, Ma'am Dr. Vijay Santosh, our Vice Principal, Sir Professor Sangesha Shetty, our dear NSS Program Officers, Professor Vijay Vishwakarma Sir, and Professor John Menzies Sir, our teacher in charge, Professor Ashish Nanik Sir, Professor Swati Shetty. I would also like to thank our technical team for providing Zoom platform, my teammates who worked behind the scene to make this event successful. And last but not the least, I would like to thank all my dear teachers, non-teaching staff, students, and all my dear participants for devoting their time and making this webinar a huge success. And I hope you all enjoyed this webinar wonderfully. Thank you.
Now I will request the participants to kindly fill the feedback link form sent in the chat box before leaving the meeting. And thank you, ma'am, for the webinar, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I think it was a very interactive webinar, a lot of good questions from everyone. I would also like to again take this opportunity to thank your college and your administrative staff for giving me a chance to really conduct this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pradnya ma'am, for enlightening our volunteers, and also at the same time many people who have joined. And it was not only the volunteers but also some of the parents have also joined this session, and definitely they have got some inputs from it. And with this webinar, definitely they will take some care so that in future they don't mess up with something else. So thank you so much, and we will surely be connecting with some other topics too. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Sure, definitely. Thank you so much. Yeah. Snehal, I can leave, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much.